Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. So this week I decided to go back and review my notes on the first Standing to Ground series. And I decided to focus this week's drilling session on hand fighting, and we threw in a single leg takedown in there as well. So although we had some of the techniques in mind, we ended up picking a handful of techniques from other resources as well, such as Justin Flores' JFLO Academy and Jordan Burroughs' single leg takedown on YouTube. Now, hand fighting is a crucial part of the stand-up game, and I've been finding myself neglecting to study hand fighting while going straight into doing fancy takedowns. Hopefully, drilling these moves can make us better in the future and give us more positional dominance on the stand-up game.
Whoa. Whoa.
Side times. Right here. I'm gonna take a step. As I take a step, I'll pull this elbow to my wrist. Like this. And now that's just to get this step in. I'm gonna chain it to a single. So I'll pull. And I'm going around. That's not a regular single. I'm just grabbing it. I'm going deeper like this. I pull the hamstrings like this. Around the calf as I go. My stance like this, so I'm ready to like slow that way. My foot's not too precision, you see counter percent. I don't know what you're talking about, so just keep breaking out here. Then I'm building up right here. And then you're taking like a narrow stance, which kind of traps the leg better. Anyways, it's more balanced like this. He said you could use no hands and the leg is still pretty trapped. Opposed to being straight on like this. When you're straight on, you kind of lose more balance. You get your feet on as like this. Another advantage here, I got more shoulder pressure. Like instead of like feeling heavier here versus when I'm like here. From here, I'm keeping my posture like pretty high, like my head's up here. I don't want to be like guillotined or anything else, like raising stuff to the head. Yeah. So I'm same posture, and then when I'm ready, I'm gonna take this step, and my body posture is gonna go down like that. And what I realized now is maybe so much more pressure is when you're starting up here, when you're doing the running of height, and you're going like this. I would do it like this before, but now I know like from just being here and then running it, you get way more pressure. It's like going back shoulder.
So you probably heard some of the new wave guys talk about how the hand fight is the first step to dictating the pace of the match, which will ultimately lead you to victory and controlling your opponent. So I took a lot of notes actually on the very first volume of the Standing to Ground series. A lot of it goes into hand fighting. And so I think some of the three main points in one of the sections was to number one, get your opponent's hands onto the mat. So that way they're in a 4-point position for you to circle around. Two, get your opponent's elbows position out of the way or get underneath of their elbow positions. So that sets up the single legs or the back takes. And then three, clear your opponent's head position. Have an uninterrupted line between you and your opponent's legs. So that sets up the double legs or the single legs. And I think another important point to mention here is that everything you do in the hand fighting position needs to have a direction. So don't go clubbing your opponents with no sense of direction. And I think that's kind of like the problems that I've been facing going in live, is that I don't really have a clear direction yet as to where to go, but I'm sure we'll get it and we'll start understanding it more. Like the more reps we hit and like the more we start thinking about where we want to be in the stand-up position.
Oh shit. So we can work on the precision of that too. What was it?
No, it was a valid drop. He had it all the way.
Oh yeah, they locked. Whatever. And the other one was there. Then there was one more. Oh yeah, you could fuck around with it. Remember how Nicky Reynolds stuck the right leg, like shuffling, and then I think it'll be like the same process.
Oh, chaining the system.
A few months back, I banged my head trying to execute a single leg takedown. What happened was I dropped down too low, and while I was going for the shot, my head bumped into my partner's knees. I ended up going for the hospital and got several stitches. So ever since then, I've been scared to actually shoot. But shooting single leg takedowns is something that I definitely want to work on in the future, especially starting from standing. I am, however, more comfortable doing ankle picks and low singles, as well as even heisting up into single leg takedowns from a seated or a butterfly position though. So if you're struggling to execute single leg takedowns or even just getting into the entry, what you could do is try to learn the single legs from a seated guard. Nicky Ryan's instructional on wrestling up is really, really good, and it's probably something that we'll end up going over on this channel again someday.
Let's see, you went left or left. You left or right. The yellow power. We don't have to do this for we like.
But just getting that cross step.
Oh, it's a cross step.
Yeah.
Like to the angle, right?
Yeah. How is he stepping in deep with the cross step?
Like the first step?
Yeah.
Not really. He does step though. It's like.
And there's a bit of a level change. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could probably do this even when you make contact. You could probably go like. But no, I may be a little too close. Is that? No, not really. So I just go for the leg anyways. And if they pull back, then they pull back. The only problem with I think when you make contact, it's harder to, if you know how it's hard to like really go like here, you mess with the balance opposed to here, and now I'm like getting close. I think you can chain this movement with so many things.
Yeah.
Now you're just more square. And then you grab my neck. You face me, face me. Face me. Oh yeah, square stance, square stance. Because if you're this way, off, good. Left leg. Hand fighting. Yeah. Yeah, it's just not the same. Like I have to get more balance on. Yeah.
So thanks for tuning in, guys. If you have any suggestions on how to learn hand fighting, please let me know. I find it interesting that hand fighting is often encapsulated with level changing and going for leg takedowns, or even like threatening grabbing the legs. So I used to think that you would have to learn one concept first before moving on to the next, but I find that after doing this video that once you learn it side by side, you start to get the idea of what you need to do next, and so it's a really good learning combination. Clearly in this session we learn how to clear the head and clear the elbows to get an advantageous position to go into rear locks or even single or double leg takedowns. So I'm going to probably move on to doing leg lock content, as it seems like that's something that you guys on the channel have been asking for a lot. So stay tuned for that. Again, thanks for watching all the way through. If you haven't already, remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification icon for future videos covering instructionals and drilling. So just remember, guys, if you have time to kill, you have time to drill. I'll see you in the next one.